So we're going to try this rant again. What is up, YouTube? I'm getting my words mixed up and tongue-tied and tongue-twisted. That shit pisses me off. But not nearly as much as the crap that's in our fucking society. Let's try not to get my fucking words twisted up this time, huh? Shit pisses me off. That's the problem with doing a live video, is you're gonna fuck up, and then if you fuck up, you gotta delete it and then just redo it. No big deal. My thoughts exactly. Fuck racists. But yeah, we have a YouTuber that I subscribed to recently. We have a YouTuber that I subscribed to recently.
White folks have had it pretty good for a very long time. Well, unless you go back into history and realise that every race, religion and creed have had it pretty shit for some period of time.
Starting off with this rant, which is my first point. Yes, maybe white people have had it good for quite some time, but if you do your history research, you will notice that throughout the dawn of time, every race, every creed, and every religion has been fucked with. So this is a video by Isaiah Butterfield. His video is called Dear White People. I would encourage you to watch this video because I highly agree with everything this person says in the video. Okay, so this is going to be a juicy run. Now, before we get into it, check, there's the video I'm watching, okay? Before I get into this rant, I'm not trying to attack anyone. I'm just telling it like it is. If that offends you, there's the back button.
But let's not go back in history because that would ruin this video. It seems that there are a group of people in the world today who are dead against white people even existing. And ladies and gentlemen, you may know them. They are other white people, particularly the woke white people. Now, you may know these people as the people who are just demanding that absolutely every single person, no matter their age, their income, or where they're from, if they have white skin, then they need to apologize for everything done in the past.
I'm so sick and tired of this fucking attitude in our society, YouTube. This, oh, you're white, so you now have to apologize for what your ancestors have done. The fuck I don't. Especially when you have more rights today than your ancestors did back in the day. The fuck I don't, especially when I'm not in control of my ancestors. Huh? You ever think of that? You ever think of that? Like, I'm not in control of my ancestors. So if one black dude shoots up the block and does a drive-by, does that mean all black people are like that and they should all automatically have to apologize for it? No. My point exactly. Huh? People sitting there saying, you're white, you have to apologize for what your ancestors have done. Oh, really? Okay, so if we're basing it off of that logic, fucking stupid.
They need to accept that they're a privileged, horrible human being, and they need to pull their bloody heads in and go and hide in the sand. But before we do that, we need to recognise an absolutely beautiful group of people who have decided to sponsor this channel, and I would love for you to listen and take it all on board because they're nice people. Viking War of Clans is an amazing PC game that I've been playing for the last couple of months.
To be quite honest, that game does look quite fun. I would play it if I was more into video games. I don't know, YouTube. I've kind of lost interest in playing video games. Like, I've literally lost interest in playing video games. The only reason I keep my PS3 is because I want to watch DVDs on my TV. I mean, I'll play video games every now and then, but generally speaking, I've lost interest in playing them. But that's beside the point. Reverse racism rant. You came to hear it, and now you're going to hear it. Guess what? Reverse racism doesn't exist. Reverse racism does not exist. Racism, excuse me. Racism is racism, period.
And ladies and gentlemen, can I just say this right now to you, to that realm? Viking War of Clans getting stuck right. Will not regret box today. Get it done, ladies and gentlemen. You will not regret it. And also, you're going to get 200 gold coins as a kickstart to take on your journey. Trust me, this game is really, you cannot be racist towards white people. Now, I've covered this before.
Oh, yes. The first main topic of this video. Apparently, you cannot be racist towards white people because white people for the last 200 years have caused the racial issues. Okay, if you can't be racist towards white people, then by golly, let's do a little research. Let's look up the word racism according to the dictionary. Racism.
Here's the definition of racism. Prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior.
So the term reverse racism is in fact racist towards white people. Let's see, prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism. Now, right off the bat, before you call me an arsehole, okay, you look at the history of blacks in this country, and when enough whiteys were fucking with them, they got tired of it. They started marching together and protesting, okay? Which is awesome. They fought for their rights and they got it. Hell fucking yeah, dude. That's what's up. However, if we continue to be racist towards white people, the same thing's going to happen. White people are going to rally together and protest. The only difference is when white people do it, it's called the Ku Klux Klan. Okay, that's too far. You know, fuck the KKK, straight up. A bunch of inbred racist retards, like straight up, dude. And here's the best part of it. If you continue to be racist towards white people, you're giving the KKK exactly what they want. An excuse to hate other people because you're being hated on. And that being said, you think, and I quote Martin Luther King Jr. on this, when he said he had a dream where blacks and whites got along and there was no bullshit. Oh, but you're white. You don't get to quote Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And you're a bigoted, reverse racist asshole, so fuck you. And that's one thing I admired about Dr. King is like he didn't just fight for gender. I mean, look, that's another topic. God damn, I'm getting my words twisted up. He didn't just fight for racial equality for blacks, but he fought for racial equality for everyone. Okay? For everyone. Not just blacks, everyone. You know? So you're telling me I can't talk about Martin Luther King Jr. because I'm not black. Well, here's the thing. He fought for racial equality for everyone, not just blacks. So stuff that in your pipe and smoke it. We'll come back to that definition again as the video progresses, but you wanted a reverse racism rant. Recently, I've received a lot of controversy for using the N-word on my channel and on my buddy's channel. But when I said it, I was referring to the definition, the dictionary definition of an ignorant person. And then when I made a video about it while making my wand saying, you know, people need to be less offended, people in turn tried calling me out on some made-up hypocrisy. They're just like, yeah, but you're telling people not to be offended all the time, and why the hell do you delete people from your channel? You say that until you get trolled like I do. You're so quick to call me a hypocrite, but guess what? If you receive the amount of harassment that I receive just doing YouTube videos, you wouldn't say shit. That being said, I'm not complaining. The level of harassment I receive on YouTube, that ain't shit, dude. When you look at history, and what individuals have had to go through, when you look at the fact and the history with what blacks, women, and gays have had to go through to fight for their rights, I'm not complaining about the harassment on YouTube. If anything, I'm laughing at these fucking haters. They're losers. When I stop and think about all of the crap that women and minorities have had to go through to fight for their rights in this country, the being sprayed with hoses, being mercilessly targeted and beaten down for just having a different color skin, for just being a woman, I think to myself, I have no right to complain. Yes, the trolls are assholes, but fuck them. There are people out there who have gone through a lot worse. You want to call me a racist, especially after I just got done saying that? Go fuck yourself, dude.
When people were putting up signs saying it's okay to be white, and people were freaking out. Now,
yep, because it's all part of that Me Too movement that we have in our society. People can't say it's okay to be black, Latina, Asian, whatever, without the whites chiming in and saying, yeah, well, if it's okay for y'all to be your color, it's okay for us to be our color. And we can't have that. No, we can't. Can't have that. No. The Asians, the blacks, the Latinas, they all take pride in their nationality. They're proud to be who they are. But as soon as the white person says, oh, hey, I'm proud to be white. Racist. Check your privilege. Well, I'll tell you something right now. Okay, I am grateful for my status in society as a white person. And that being said, I also feel bad. It hurts my heart to think that people have had to go through this crap. It's miserable, dude. You know? And because people have had to go through this kind of crap, my generation's putting up with it. My generation's getting blamed for it. I'm like, okay, how the fuck is that fair? Life ain't fair, dude. At the beginning of the video, I specifically said it. If you look at history, every race, every creed, and every religion has been fucked with at least once. There was slavery during ancient Egyptian times. But you don't see the Jews bitching about the slavery in Egypt, just the Holocaust. Okay, that's
I think it's still okay to be white. And even though the people on the radio were blowing up about me saying that, are you people fucking serious? Like, it's okay to be anything, you fucking dickhead. But this idea of reverse racism, the idea that you cannot be racist towards white people.
Okay, this idea of reverse, for the starting off, I agree 100%. I agree with what Isaiah Butterfield is saying in this video. Okay, so the idea that you can't be racist towards a white person, well, we should look at the definition of racism. Racism.
Here's the definition of racism. prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior.
Notice that in the definition, in the dictionary's definition of racism, it does not exclude white people. It says basically, if you think your race is superior to someone else's race because of the color of your skin or because of your privilege, whatever, then you're a racist. So that being said, if we go off the definition of racism, if we go off the literal dictionary definition of racism, then yes, it is 100% possible to be racist towards white people. We'll come back to that in a second. Back to the video.
Was really, it came out in the media this week where Afrofest, a music festival, a large music festival in Detroit, was charging white people $40 a ticket to attend the festival, and if you didn't have white skin, you got them for half price. It's probably not even that racist. It's just really rude. I mean, it is obviously racist because you're deciding that someone can't come along to something or has to pay more because of something they can't control, like their skin color. But it's also really rude. Like, fuck you. But here's the thing, in Detroit, where the festival's being held, the poverty line of 36% is almost exactly the same for black people and white people. So who are the ones living in poverty here? The answer is both. But this is where this idea of reverse racism comes in. And it's absolutely preposterous to think that you can even slightly think that because someone has a different amount of melanin in their skin, you can treat them differently. This is what we've fought for many years.
No fucking shit. Exactly my point. Do you realize that people have been fighting for years against racism, saying that it's not okay to treat people a certain way just because of the color of their skin? And then here we are in these modern times, white people getting treated a certain way because of the color of their skin. Granted, I'm not complaining. It could be worse. Like I said, I'm grateful for my privilege and humble about it, but I also feel bad, you know, because it makes my race look bad, you know. Much like gangbangers and thugs in the Latino and black community, a racist white asshole makes white people look bad, just like, you know, the assholes in the minority groups, you know, and it's disgusting. Not every black/Latino is a gangbanger, and not every white person's a racist, contrary to what you see in the media.
To try and get rid of, because for a long time, particularly in the last century or so, people were horribly racist to people who had a certain more amount of melanin in their skin, black people, than they were to people with less melanin in their skin, white people. Now, does that mean that we have to turn the tables and make up for that lost time? No, that's not a way to do anything. It's the same with sexism. The way to fight racism, the way to fight sexism is not with more of it. You fucking idiots.
No fucking shit. So, okay, if you're so concerned about fighting racism and sexism in our society, you would think that being sexist towards men and racist towards white people, that's not going to make it any better. That's just going to make it worse. Like, if you're trying to fight these issues in society, the sexism and the racism, the sexism and the racism in our society, oh, okay. Let's start with this. Sexism.
Here's the definition of sexism: prejudice, stereotyping, or discrimination, typically against women on the basis of sex.
Now, the definition of sexism towards the dictionary's definition is extremely sexist towards women. It is. The definition of sexism, according to the Google Dictionary, literally says sexism in language is an offensive reminder of the way the culture sees women. But when we Google the word racism, it doesn't single out one single race. It just says, if you think, okay, now seriously, we'll do it again. Watch. Racism.
Here's the definition of racism: prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior.
So why is it that the definition of sexism singles out women like that? With that, okay, the oxymoron contained in the definition of sexism is stereotyping. Note the word stereotyping and how it says typically against women, that negative stereotype that sexism only happens to women. But that is another topic for another video. Let's get back to the rant.
There's a YouTube channel called Jubilee, and they had a little video out where they decided to ask white people what they thought about being a white person.
Quite literally, here's a video of me responding to Isaiah, who makes a video responding to someone else. Like, the layers in this, man.
And it's pretty fun to watch.
On the side notes, I see the Jameson sitting right there, laddie. That shit look good. Fuck, I could use a beer right now. The society we live in is exhausting.
Really enjoyed it. It also made me a little bit angry. But let's jump into that.
I don't know. Halloween is just like a weird holiday to be dressing up as anybody else's culture.
You can say the same thing about any costume. Are you going to tell a 6-year-old girl that she can't dress up like a pirate because she doesn't know the history of pirates? Like,
That's very different.
Oh. And of course, when she said that, oh, that's unfair. Okay. Here's the thing of it. Like, you want to call Halloween a rude holiday because you're allowed to dress up as someone else and how it's culturally inappropriate? It's not even Christmas yet, and we're already having this debate about Halloween. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the one thing that Christmas and Halloween have in common is the overly politically correct assholes try to ruin it for everyone. But you know what? Don't let these arseholes crap on your holiday. If you're such a fucking snowflake that someone says Merry Christmas, oh my God, sir, I'm an atheist. I don't celebrate that shit. Our society is so politically correct that you have to say happy holidays. Otherwise, you might offend somebody. We're so worried about offending people. Like, fuck. People are like, well, if you're telling people to not be so offended, why do you delete people's comments from your channel? Because rather than getting offended by what people say, I just say to myself, you know what? They're not worth my time. Delete. Because deleting the trolls rather than getting offended by them, it's better use of my time. Now, that argument, of course, people saying that you cannot dress up like a Native American on Halloween because it's seen as insensitive to the natives. But then some bigot has to argue, yeah, but does that mean we're going to tell a 6-year-old she can't dress up like a pirate because she doesn't know the history of pirates? I'm like, okay, that's kind of a stretch, dude. I mean, you know, the only reason I'm making this video is because people are getting the wrong idea of me. They're like, oh my God, Cobra said the N-word. How offensive. Using it in the literal dictionary sense of ignorant person.
Culture. 3, 2, 1.
Do white people have culture? Well, of course we have culture, us whiteys. Because white people don't just come from England, they come from all over the world. It's important to remember that because cultures are built upon thousands and thousands of years of growth. I mean, sure, there's a lot of people in Australia right now whose culture goes back to the English. But where does that culture come from? Well, it might come from Scandinavia. It might come from England itself. It could come from anywhere. It's important to remember that because when you say that white people don't have culture, you're saying that a large population in the world have no culture.
Okay, every race has culture. You know, every race has their own culture. And I think that's fucking awesome. It's what makes the world go round. You know, it's what makes the world go round. Every race has culture, a rich history of food and ideologies and hairstyles and clothing. And, you know, it's unique. It's got its own flavor. It's the spark to life. You know, if we were all the same boring people, life would suck more than it already does. If we were all the same exact people, life would suck even more than it already does. Trust and believe that. But this idea that white people don't have culture because we're racist, again, no, just fuck off. Watch a hot chick on Chatterbait and fuck off.
Which is a ridiculous thing to say. We all have different stories, beliefs, judgments. We all come from different places, countries. We all are built upon thousands of years of growth.
Okay, that right there. Yes. Thank you, Isaiah. Yes. How is culture? Okay, how is culture amongst the races established? Simply by thousands of years of people doing things, having it ingrained in their culture's history. That's precisely how culture works, the culture in general. But you can't spell culture without the word cult, can ya? Oh, that's too far.
Negate all that just because of the color of someone's skin now, it just doesn't make any sense, honestly.
I believe in reverse racism.
Reverse racism is like someone being racist against you because you are white. Like, do you believe that someone can be racist against a white person?
Fuck no. Racism is racism, period. There's no such thing as reverse racism. One second, let me just turn on the light here. There's no such thing as reverse racism, YouTube. Racism is racism, period. This idea of reverse sexism, it's not sexist when it happens to a male because males cause it. This idea of reverse racism, it's not racist when it happens to white people because white people are racist. Hold up, let me just grab some of this water. Gotta stay hydrated. Like, I almost didn't want to make this video because how do you make this video without coming off as someone who's just, oh, you're just standing up for your own race, you racist. Keep in mind that if I seen racism towards any other race, I'd still be bitching about it. And again, one of the awesome things about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he didn't just fight for racial equality for blacks, but for all races. He was one of those people that said, where everyone gets along, basically. And I don't know the speech off the top of my head, but basically he said he wants to live in a world where everyone doesn't give a shit what color your skin is. We all just learn to coexist because we're all people, man. We all bleed the same color of blood. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Indian, Hindu, Japanese, Asian, Taiwanese, white, polka dot, I don't know. Every human being bleeds the same color of blood. Every human has red blood. Should that not make us united as one? Should that not be enough? A common ground. Every human experiences heartache, emotion, trial, error, depression, hunger, pain. Every human experiences emotion. Every human bleeds the same color of blood. So why can't that unite us? You know, if you don't like the person, just fucking ignore them. Be like, okay, hey, shut up, whatever, dude. Fucking reverse racism. Oh my fucking God. The fucking society we live in, it's exhausting, YouTube. It's enough to make you want to drink. But I don't have any alcohol, but that's all right. I don't need any alcohol. I don't need any alcohol at the moment, just kind of making a point, you know?
The huge part about racism is that there's hate and oppression behind it. And as a white person in America, I do not feel oppressed.
Believing whether or not reverse racism is a thing, I think honestly lies where your political allegiance lies. Because if you're a right-leaning person, center to right-leaning person, you're honestly going to just go, no, let's not be racist to anyone. If you go far right, then maybe you might change your mind. But on the left, it seems anywhere on the left right now, if you say, oh, do you believe in reverse racism? Is it okay to be racist towards white people? A lot of those people say yes. And that's a very slippery slope. It's not a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's a bad thing. And I'm really shocked that not more people are talking about this. Not more people are jumping on board and saying, listen, this is not okay. But the reason they don't do that, the reason they don't jump on board is because they're worried about being labeled as racist as well.
Yep, that's precisely the problem with it. Because of the negative consequences that stupid made-up terms, with these stupid made-up terms like reverse racism, they have such a disastrous consequence. Like, you want to call me a fucking hypocrite, but here the society we live in is talking about how you shouldn't attack somebody because of the color of their skin. You shouldn't be an asshole to somebody just because you don't like the color of their skin. And yet, reverse racism. But with this topic, it gets a little bit deeper, let me tell you.
Oh, fuck me dead.
Focusing on race divides. 3, 2, 1.
Focusing on race divides us. Now, these people had a lot of different answers for this question, and I had a long-winded paragraph about this, but honestly, I'll just answer this with yes, of course it does.
Racism does divide us, and race does not have to divide us. It really doesn't. You know, as I alluded to earlier in this video, I quite literally said, what's the point of racism and sexism? You know, we're all human beings. We're all struggling to make an honest living for ourselves. And we're all trying to find who we are as people. We all experience heartache and emotion, happiness, sadness, joy, frustration, anger, depression. We all bleed the same color of blood. Should that not be enough to unite us? The fact that race divides us is just sad. It's a big steaming pile of sad. It's a big steaming pile of sad.
Cultural appropriation is real.
Cultural appropriation is real. Oh, here we go.
Cultural appropriation is real. Yeah, it's real fucking stupid.
Yes, it is. Cultural appropriation is real fucking stupid.
You can dress up as anyone, a native headdress, whatever. Just don't be an asshole about it.
For real. I feel that. Dress up however the fuck you want to dress up. Just don't be an asshole about it. Well said.
The thing about cultural appropriation is it's a slippery slope. Like anything else in this realm, it doesn't stop there. People are saying that white people shouldn't have dreadlocks because African American people own dreadlocks. But
Oh yeah. Here we go. When we talk about cultural appropriation, white people are being told by black people that you cannot wear your hair like that because we own it. Okay, some people might argue, well, if African Americans are being discriminated against in a certain job setting where their white counterpart can wear that same hairdo, But if they try to wear it, they get told not to. At that point, I'd find a different job. I would find a different fucking job, because that's racism at its finest. And that kind of bullshit is the kind of crap that makes this whole cultural appropriation bullshit worse. Is when you work for somebody, if you work for somebody, you have to consider the level of professionalism, okay? If you're going to work at Starbucks, think about this for a second, okay? Sincerely, think about this for a second. If you're going into a job to apply for said job, take a look at how your potential future coworkers are dressed, okay? Before you call me a racist asshole, hear me out. If you go into that job and you see everyone's dressed more professionally, like if you go into a fucking bank applying for that job wearing pink dreadlocks, it doesn't matter if you're black or white. You walk into a bank rocking some hot pink dreadlocks, they're going to tell you, I think you want to work at Spencer's or Hot Topic. The mall's that way. So there's that too. But
in fact, the god Shiva had matted hair that resembled dreadlocks. So in fact, the Indian people invented dreadlocks, and African people took that from the Indian people in a form of cultural appropriation known as expanding culture.
what? Wait a minute. Hold the fucking phone, Sylvester Stallone. You're telling me that white people should be allowed to wear dreads because when black people say that's cultural appropriation, how we own that look? Guess what, dipshits? Your people stole that look from the Indians over in India and the Vikings. So now you got black people whose culture stole that in a form of cultural appropriation known as cultural expansion. You know what I'm saying, Tubes? It ain't worth it, dude. Like, come on, this is stupid. Not to be a racist, but isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? Oh, wait a minute. And last time I checked, nobody has the ownage of a certain hairstyle. Okay? You can't that would be like me saying, well, I'm white, so if you're black, you can't shave your head because that's a white person's hairdo. You know what they tell us? You're a racist, you're a bigot, I'm going to wear my hair however the fuck I want to wear it. That's exactly what they would fucking say. What was the word he used again? Hold up.
Indian people invented dreadlocks, and African people took that from the Indian people in a form of cultural appropriation known as expanding culture.
Cultural appropriation known as expanding culture. And I think that's what makes being a human being awesome, is we can share cultures, share each other's views on life. We can share cultures and integrate it with our own culture. This is how I see it. Like, how do you think cultures have lasted this long? Because someone else said, hey, that looks cool, I want to try it. The African Americans the Africans back in the day saw the Indians from India and the Vikings, and they're like, their hair looks cool, I want to wear it. So they start wearing it, and that's how that trend passed on. Reverse racism. Get the fuck out of here with that.
Which is okay, and you're allowed to fucking do it, dickhead. But as we all know, for topics of race, we need to go to the most hard-hitting, just down-the-middle news broadcasting service. I'm talking about BuzzFeed. They made a video about this type of stuff. Let's check it out.
Holy crap. 24 questions black people have for white people, according to BuzzFeed Presents. Here we go.
Why do you always make such horrible decisions in horror movies? It's not cool to split up.
I get why you're mad at horror movies. It's always the black dude that gets killed first. Maybe that needs to change.
Yeah, that does need to change. I've seen that, and I like scary movies as much as the next horror buff type person. You know, The Exorcism, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love movies like that. And I'm not going to deny, I've seen that happen one too many times, where the black person always gets killed off first in a scary movie. And I'm like, okay, that right there is only going to make the racial tension worse. And it wouldn't matter if the movie featured a diverse cast of different colored people. All it takes is for the black person to get killed first in that movie, and automatically it's racist. Which I agree with you. That is kind of fucked, to be quite honest.
Why do you freak out when black people are cast to play white fictional characters?
This black dude just asked, why do white people freak out when black people are cast to play their parts? Right. And black people totally don't do the same thing. When white people are cast to play black parts, there are some black people who flip out about that. So when that black dude asked that question, why do white people flip out when black people are cast to play white roles? The same reason you do it when a white person is cast to play a black dude. The very exact same reason.
Well, this just happened with the Little Mermaid, right? She got changed from being a red-headed white chick to being an African-American lady, which honestly, a lot of people blew up about. I don't give a fuck. Who cares? I hope she does really well in the role. But I understand why people are upset, because they're changing a character, and they're doing that a lot recently. And I think what really stinks out of all of this,
what really stinks out of all this is you're letting a story, a made up story, and someone deciding to have a creative twist and change the character just a little bit. Sure, it's not the original, but ask yourself this. Are you so fucking miserable with your life that someone changing a fucking character in a made-up story pisses you off because, well, the character wasn't originally blah, 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 blah. I mean, you stop and think about how fucked life really is. You stop and think about how fucking offensive life really is. And you're going to get offended because someone took a white character and made them black, or took a black character and made them white. It's fucking stupid.
is the movie company itself doing this because they want to look good in the news. They want to create news. They want to create hype around the movie, not because they care about this young lady. That's a bit fucked up.
Why is a big butt and big lips considered attractive on a white woman, but they're unattractive on a black woman?
What? And then there's that question right there. This black woman gets on the BuzzFeed video. This African-American woman, she gets on the BuzzFeed video and she asks the question, why is it that when women have a big ass and big lips, it's considered attractive, but when black people do it, it's not? Really? Okay, so just because one or two people says they prefer it on white chicks over black chicks, all of a sudden it's a thing now? Like, okay. Okay, so I happen to think that big lips on a woman are attractive, period. I don't care. Okay, the lips on her face. Get your mind out of the gutter, perverts. But I happen to think that luscious lips on a woman are attractive, no matter what race she is. You feel me, YouTube? So, huh? No, seriously. Like, I like big butts and I like big lips on a chick. I don't care what race she is. I'm like, damn, that chick's got a booty. That's what's up. Like, straight up.
Unattractive says whom? Who the fuck have you polled? You don't know shit, motherfucker.
Why is it that white people always act as though they have discovered a new trend when people of color have been doing it for virtually years?
Another question. Why is it that white people act like it's a trend when black people have been doing it for years? You know what? I can see how that would be offensive. Even if the hypocrisy of it's enough to make your head spin. White people treating dreads like it's a trend. And I'm like, yeah, but first of all, did the Indians and the Vikings complain when Africans stole their hairstyles? Fuck no. They were like, are you attacking my village? You're not attacking my village. Why the fuck do I care? You want to copy my hairstyle? Cool. Go right the fuck ahead. That's exactly how that went.
Because they discovered it. It's new to them.
Because they discovered it. It's new to them. It may not be new to you, but it's new to them. Exactly.
It is all relative.
Why is it when a black woman wears her hair natural, it's seen as inappropriate?
Who the fuck says this shit?
Unfortunately, there have been a couple of incidences where black women were attacked for their hair. And the fuck's sake, man, the fact that we're having this discussion over these petty, little, minuscule things that should not fucking matter. Like, back to the whole African Americans getting attacked for their hair bullshit. Okay, one, consider the job you have, and two, consider the job you're applying for. And if you're in a job situation where they're letting your white counterparts wear quote unquote black hairdos, but you go to wear them and they tell you can't, then I would find a different job. There is no black hairdo. There is no white hairdo. Hair is just hair. God damn it. Like, fuck. Cultural appropriation is fucking stupid. It's so fucking stupid. There's so much bullshit that comes with it. I've barely just scratched the surface. Like, the video I would have to make about this topic would at least be 3 hours long.
This is the hair that I was born with, so you wearing it as a trend is not cute.
Oh, okay. So I think a lot of you out there are taking this the wrong way. You know? Oh, this is the hair I was born with, so you wearing it as a trend is not cute. You know, it's one thing if they're rocking the same hairdo, but they act white, who the fuck cares? But if they're rocking dreads or cornrows and then acting black, I would see you getting, I'd be pissed by that shit. I'd be like, dude, really? Fucking act your color already. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. You're making us whiteys look bad over here. Do you see this cracker over here with his cornrows, fucking sagging his pants, munching on some goddamn chicken and sipping on some grape juice? Do you see this motherfucker right here? Pissing off all the black folks, making us whiteys look bad. Oh, I am tired of it. Well, you don't get to complain about it because you're not black. Screw you. I am so tired of that bullshit argument. You don't get to complain about it because you're not a woman. You don't get to complain about it because you're not black. Oh, where's the tobacco? Oh, there it is. Let me top it off real quick. You can't show sympathy or try to understand an issue without being told, you know, it's just like, you can't do anything without being told anything anymore. It's fucking stupid. Just thinking about it, fuck, it makes my head hurt. You cannot do anything anymore without being met with some sort of criticism, and it's ridiculous, YouTube. It's fucking asinine. Oof. I'm not even paying attention to the chat right now. I'm kind of just working on my rant here. Yeah.
People have had your hair before. Get over yourself.
Pretty fucking much. Exactly. People have had your style of hair before your people invented it or rocked it. So exactly, get over it. Okay, like other people have had your style of hair before your people started wearing it. So exactly, get over yourselves.
Why do you want to say the N word so badly?
I don't want to say it personally, but I guess
Well, okay, because let's talk about black culture for a second. The fact that rap music consistently uses the N-word all the time. And you know what? Much to the point that I made on my last live stream, if you let those words offend you, then they're going to offend you. Which is why a lot of black people started using the N-word, because they're like, hey, you know what? I'm tired of letting that white bastard offend me with his racism, so I'm going to embrace it. Next thing you know, black people are calling each other the N-word left and right. What up, Mike? You know what I'm saying? That's how that got started. Oh, Cobra speaks the fucking truth. Okay, like straight up, black people got tired of white people calling them the N-word. They got tired of them using it, and they got tired of being offended by it. So they stood up and said, you know what? We're going to start using it in our daily speech. Fuck it. And once black people started using it, all of a sudden it was a little bit less offensive. You know what I'm saying? Like, people call me a retard all the time, and I'm like, thanks for noticing. So I get that, because I've been called a fucking retard my entire fucking life. You know, like nonstop to a point. And it used to piss me off. I used to get so offended. Like, what the fuck? You're not supposed to use that word. But then I stopped giving a shit about that word. I stopped letting it offend me. And all of a sudden, when people call me a retard, I laugh. And I'm like, thanks for noticing. I call myself a retard all the time. But think about it. If we're being taught by our society, oh, you're not supposed to use this word, it's offensive, then when people who are retarded get called a retard, of course they're going to get offended, because we're teaching them to be offended, not to embrace it and be like, yeah, so what? There are a lot of awesome people out there who are retarded. What's your point? In fact, we're all retarded in our own special way. I believe the whole fucking world's autistic, I swear. The whole goddamn world's autistic, because we're all retarded in our own special way.
it's like a child with a toy who sees another child with another toy and they want to play with that toy. Right? When you're told you can't do something, it's a natural human emotion or want or need to do something.
Precisely my point. You're telling people, oh, you shouldn't say the N-word. So, of course, people are going to say it. It's a human emotion. And when I use the N-word in my speech, I don't use it at all, hardly ever, if often. I've never used it that much. Once in a blue moon, it slips out of my mouth. Once in a blue moon, the N-word will slip out of my mouth. I don't even use it that often in my speech, to be quite honest. But when I do use the N-word in my speech, I am referring to the dictionary version of ignorant.
Once again, I don't want to or need to, and I won't. But you can understand why.
How come you can't pronounce black names like Quavanjane, but can say names like Schwarzenegger, Galifianakis, and LaBeouf just fine?
Oh, and how is that even a complaint? How the fuck is that even a complaint? This bald black dude comes on the BuzzFeed video. How come you have a hard time pronouncing black names, but have an easy time pronouncing white names? No offense to black people, but y'all give your kids some weird-ass fucking names. You do. And sometimes they're hard to pronounce. Maybe because, one, most of you have never been heard of. You're not super famous like a celebrity. And, oh, wait, there's some truth to this. Hang on.
Because Ava Ganja is not a movie star that is world renowned and you've heard their name 1,000 fucking times.
My point fucking exactly. Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh, the Schwarzenegger. Get to the chopper. Oh. Because you've heard Arnold Schwarzenegger's name. You've heard Arnold Schwarzenegger's name 1,000 times, at least once in your life. He's a famous person. Okay? Really? They're so offended that you mispronounced their name. Okay, so then stop naming your kids ridiculously hard to pronounce words, names, whatever. Or better yet, stop being so fucking offended. Like, okay, it's 2019. We've had a half black president. That being said, black people can run for president now. Black people can be cops. Black people can be doctors. You know, this ain't the plantation days now. Black people are no longer allowed to be slaves. So that being said, you want to bitch because people can't pronounce your names? Have that discussion with your great, great, great black grandfather for a second. And he's going to tell you, boy, listen up. You don't know the half of it. That ain't shit.
If you read the name Schwarzenegger for the first time, you wouldn't be able to pronounce it for 1,000 years.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. And white people get named weird things too. Okay? We do. Like, people will name their kids some weird-ass names. You know? And then they get offended because you can't pronounce it. So then show people how to pronounce it. Introduce yourself. Be more social. Like, hi, my name is Chicka Chicka Slim Shady.
But because you've heard other people say it, you fucking know it. Here's the scary thing. And when I
Exactly. You say your name, if you're famous, either way, people know it. Like, oh, that's how you pronounce it. Cool.
said this was a slippery slope. It happens to a lot of different people. Racism is not okay, okay? That is what I'm really trying to push here, regardless.
Fuck yeah, exactly my point. Me and Isaac Butterfield are pretty much pushing for the same point. Racism is not okay. Fuck racism. You know, going out of your way to personally persecute someone because they're a different race or saying a racist term. You know, sticks and stones, oranges to apples, you know. Personally going out of your way to fuck with somebody because they're racist or because you're racist and they're racist. And it's just a shit stew of racism. But no, seriously. Going out of your way to fuck with somebody else just because they're a different race. Versus saying a couple of so-called hurtful words. Which is worse? Going out of your way to fuck with somebody because they're a different race than you, or saying a couple of hurtful words. If
it's white people, black people, Asian people, brown people, whatever. It is not a good thing. It is never a good thing. We're seeing this at the moment at Harvard. Harvard University are refusing to take on more Asian students because there are too many Asian students at their university. That is racist. That is not okay.
There you go. Harvard University refusing to take more Asian students because they think there's too many Asians in the school. That's racist. I agree with that 100%. That's incredibly racist.
Equality of outcome is inherently racist, sexist, and all the ists that you can wrap your tongue around. It's just shit. It doesn't care about people.
Exactly. The equality of outcome regarding sexism, racism, that outcome doesn't give a shit about people. They don't. You know? Well, think about it. We spend a couple decades picking on blacks. Now we're going to switch over and pick on whites. And then the whole time we're picking on women while we're doing it. all that's going to do is create more fucking problems. All that's going to do is create more tension in our society. Racial and sexually sexist, aggravated, whatever fucking bullshit. I don't fucking know, dude. This.
It cares about what fuckwits in the media and fuckwits who watch the news and fuckwits who read BuzzFeed and all that shit care and think about.
Exactly. The outcome doesn't give a shit about how it affects people or how stupid their logic is. All they care about is the fucking idiots who gab on about it. The fucking retards on social media and news who spread this crap. These fucking feminazis spewing a bunch of hate about men, and men and women just sitting there going, yeah, believing every fucking word of it. The fucking outcome of sexism and racism doesn't care about people. Rather or less, it cares more so about the idiots who buy into it, the idiots who fucking practice it, and the idiots who report it on the news and on social media, etc., etc.
Fuck them. We know those people who just swallow that bullshit are fucking idiots. They're lost to the world. Fuck them. So many fucks. But fuck them. We had a problem with tribalism for thousands of years where, you know, basically if you were a part of one tribe, you try and kill another tribe if they were a threat. And I think over the last 100 years or so, it started to disperse and we don't really care about other tribes. We just care about everyone as a whole. But I fear that if this continues, this reverse racism, focusing on race rather than anything else, it might come back. And that's not a good thing at all. We need to be good people. We need to be good motherfuckers. We need to subscribe to this YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. And just be a good motherfucker. Who gives a shit about anything else? And be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. My dick stinks. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe, check me out, fucking comment down below. And just to recap everything we've said today.
So here are some quick and dirty facts on reverse racism. 1. Reverse racism does not exist. 2. Reverse racism is not real. 3. No, seriously, it's not a thing.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay. Thank you for the $2. I appreciate it. My final fucking point to this video is look what happened when African Americans were fucked with in the 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. After their grandparents and great-grandparents being former slaves and what have you, they were pretty much sick of whitey shit. And so what happens? They get together and they protest. And that's exactly what's going to happen. If white people continue to get discriminated against, eventually they're going to get sick of it and protest. It's human nature. You get fucked with to a point, eventually you're going to get sick of it and you're going to protest. Like, fuck the KKK. Okay, the Ku Klux Klan, a bunch of retarded, inbred, wannabe hicks, fucking racist sons of bitches. You know, but people like them are going to have a much easier time convincing white people to join their movement if white people are being attacked in the media for being sexist and racist. Nobody will focus on racism when another race contributes to it. Nobody will focus on sexism when a female does it. But by golly, if it's a white male, oh, look out. Sexist, racist, pig alert. This fucking video is an hour long. Like, holy fucking shit. Fuck racism. Fuck sexism. Thank you for watching this rant. If you like this style of rant where I go live and I pick a video to just talk about, and hit the like button, subscribe for more. And fuck cultural appropriation to a point. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like Isaiah said, like, okay, if you want to wear dreads, fine, wear dreads. Just don't be an intolerant ass about it. You know, you got these white people who are rocking dreads and they start acting all Rastafarian and shit, even though they're as white as Casper the fucking Ghost. And they start talking Jamaican, like, huh, I'll only tell you something. This bullshit in our society, it's Jamaican me crazy. Like, straight up. Well, hell yeah, Rizzy, that's what's up. Thank you for the $2 donation. But yeah, there you go, YouTube. Fuck racism. Fuck sexism. And again, I'm sorry for using the N-word on my channel / on my buddy's channel. I don't use it a whole lot. Once in a blue moon, it slips out, and I'm working on it. However, when I use the definition of that word, my definition is the dictionary's definition of ignorant motherfucker. Yeah. Anyways, tubes, thank you for watching my rant against reverse sexism, reverse racism, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Yeah, this is my rant on reverse racism, basically. As always, thank you for watching the video. Take care. Have an awesome evening. And if you don't like the person, just fucking ignore them. You know, why do we go out of our ways to fuck with people we don't like? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, I get so many haters on my videos, and I'm like, okay, if you don't like my videos, why are you watching them? Just so you can talk shit? Do I have that much control over your life that you can't just say to yourself, a normal sane person would say, I don't like this person's YouTube channel, therefore I'm not going to watch their videos. But a mentally insane person would say, I don't like this person's videos, so I'm going to fucking watch every last one of them and leave hate comments on all of them. Clearly, some of these trolls are my biggest fans. Otherwise, they wouldn't try so hard to fuck with me. It's the combination of secretly being my biggest fan and being super jealous of how awesome I am. That's why the trolls do what they do, and it's quite sad, actually. Aww. Yes. Amen to that. The Satanic Bible has a good quote that sums up your rant nicely, King Cobra. So now have I become your enemy by telling you the truth. Amen to that. And with that being said, thank you for watching this rant, and I'll catch you later.